Good day, learners of OK Academy. I present to you fractions for grade 3. Our substrand is fractions as part of a whole. As part of a whole. When you take any object, anything at all, when you expect it to divide, you are actually going to cut the object, and in so doing, any portion of this object, for example, the figure you see on the board, any portion of it, when it's cut out, we call that portion a fraction. For example, if I cut this part of this circular object on the board, we say this portion is a fraction of the whole, a part of the whole, a fraction or a part of the whole. Therefore, if the object on the board is cut equally into two, each part is referred to as 1/2. 1 out of the 2. Each part is referred to as 1 out of the 2. And 1/2 in fraction is the same as half. Do you remember we did this last term? Now, let's divide the same thing into 4. The same object on the board into 4. When this object is divided into 4, if I take one portion out of the 4, this portion will be called 1/4. 1 out of 4, which is the same as 1/4. And in fraction, 1/4 can also be referred to as a quarter. A quarter. That is why we learned about half past and quarter past. Half is 1/2 and a quarter is 1/4. Now let's see if we can get another example of fraction from the same object. Now, it is still divided into 4, yet I'm going to take 3 out of the 4. So look at it carefully. This is the first one, second, third, fourth. So I'm going to take 3 out. 1, 2, 3. Since I've taken 3 portions out of the 4, this fraction can be referred to as 3 out of 4 or 3 quarters. 3 quarters. It is also an example of fraction. I can equally have the same object and then divide it into 3. Just 3. If this object is divided into 3, 1, 2, 3, one portion taken out or shaded can be referred to as 1/3. 1/3. 1/3. 1/3. It's also an example of fraction. We can have fractions such as 1/5, 2/3. If I'm to shade 2 portions out of this, 2 portions out of the 3, these two portions shaded can be referred to as 2/3. That is 2 out of 3. 2/3. We can have different types of fractions. You will learn about types of fractions in your next class. So, this time around, we are going to shade a fraction out of this rectangular object here. Let's try and shade a fraction out of this. First of all, you consider the rectangular object is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. 7 equal parts. So that fraction should be out of 7. Therefore, if I shade 3 portions, if I manage to shade 3 out of the 7, this fraction can be referred to as 3/7. In the same order, If this object is divided into 5 portions, when I shade 2 out of the 5, this fraction can be referred to as 2 over 5. We can have different types. When I shade 3, it's going to be 3 out of 5. Very well. On daily basis, you are given things to divide. And for example, if daddy buys a pizza for you to share with your siblings at home, you are expected to divide them equally before you take portions. The pizza you see on the board is divided into 8 equal portions. If I take 2 portions out of the 8, 1, 2. This 2 portions taken out of the 8 can be written as 2 over 8. It is an example of a fraction. If I decide to take extra 1, it can be referred to as 3 out of 8. You can equally have 4 portions or 5 portions taken to get fractions such as 5 out of 8 or 4 out of 8. All these are different examples of fractions. In a jiffy, you can try your hands on the exercise I've given to you. I hope you've been able to divide objects into various fractions. I would like to recommend that you try your hands on these things on a daily basis. Till we meet again, I will say bye-bye.